The fruit machine robot. In a bustling metropolis where neon lights flickered and the streets hummed with the noise of busy crowds, there was one building that stood out, a crumbling, forgotten workshop hidden deep in an alley. It was a place few dared to enter, its wooden door chipped, the paint peeling from the walls. But inside, amidst the clanging of metal and the scent of oil, Professor Vortex was at work. The eccentric inventor had spent decades creating gadgets and contraptions that no one could have ever imagined. But his latest creation? Well, it was something truly out of this world. A robot made entirely from old fruit machines. Professor Vortex had always been fascinated by the past, especially the golden era of arcades. The colorful fruit machines with their spinning reels, bright flashing lights, and the ever-present hum of coins dropping had captured his imagination from a young age. But now, in a world where arcades were mostly relics, he wanted to give these forgotten machines new life. His vision was a robot that would blend the playful charm of fruit machines with cutting-edge robotics. It would not only serve as a companion but would be a symbol of joy for a world that had grown far too serious. For weeks, the professor scoured the city, collecting abandoned fruit machines from arcades that had long since closed. He lugged them back to his workshop, their metallic exteriors gleaming under the dim lights. He would carefully dismantle the machines, salvaging the reels, the buttons, the flashing lights, and even the speakers that once echoed with the sounds of winning jackpots. Every piece was precious, a part of the puzzle that would bring his vision to life. But as the weeks turned into months, the professor began to wonder if his dream would ever truly materialize. The fruit machines had been tough to work with, heavy and cumbersome. The wiring was complicated, and the programming required was beyond anything he had done before. Yet, each time he felt like giving up, the thought of his creation kept him going. His robot would be unlike anything the world had ever seen. Finally, the day arrived when everything clicked into place. Juno, the robot, was born. Juno stood tall in the center of the workshop, its gleaming chrome body a perfect blend of retro fruit machine parts and futuristic robotics. The robot's chest, made up of spinning reels, gleamed under the harsh lights. The reels were decorated with colorful fruit symbols, cherries, plums, lemons, and oranges, each a nostalgic reminder of the old days when people would gather around to try their luck at the machines. Its arms, composed of metal tubes and mechanical joints, moved with fluid grace, while its head, shaped like a sleek dome, glowed with soft blue lights. The professor stepped back, admiring his creation. And quat. It's alive, and quat, he whispered to himself. And quat, well, almost, and quat. He flipped a switch at the base of Juno's spine. The robot's eyes flickered, and the reels on its chest began to spin, their flashing lights illuminating the room. A soft hum filled the air as Juno's internal systems powered up. Slowly, the robot's arms began to move, testing its joints. Then, with a sudden whir, it stopped, the reels coming to a halt. The combination on the reels was a perfect match. 3 cherries. Juno's voice, mechanical yet warm, spoke for the first time. And quat. Why did the fruit stop spinning? Because it needed a break. And quat. Professor Vortex chuckled. And quat. It works. My very own fruit machine. Robot, and quat. But Juno wasn't just designed for entertainment. The professor had programmed it with the ability to interact with people in the most unique ways. The robot was capable of recognizing patterns in conversation, and its spinning reels would determine what kind of response Juno would give. If the reels landed on cherries, Juno would tell a joke. If the reels showed lemons, Juno would offer a song. Oranges, a delicious fruit salad would appear. Plums would trigger helpful advice. The possibilities were endless, and Professor Vortex couldn't wait to unveil Juno to the world. The first public demonstration of Juno took place in the heart of the city, in a bustling park that was a favorite gathering spot for locals. Professor Vortex had carefully planned the event, bringing Juno to the center of the park, where a crowd had gathered. People whispered excitedly, curious about what the inventor had to show. "Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you," the professor announced, "Juno, the fruit machine robot." The crowd gasped as Juno stepped forward. The reels on its chest spun, displaying a colorful combination of cherries, oranges, and plums. The robot gave a slight bow, and then, to everyone's surprise, its arms extended, pulling out a large bowl filled with a beautiful fruit salad. The crowd clapped and cheered. Juno had already won their hearts. But the real magic happened when a young girl, about 8 years old, approached the robot. She looked up at Juno with wide eyes and asked, "And what, can you tell me a joke? And what?" The reels on Juno's chest spun rapidly. The crowd fell silent in anticipation. After a few moments, the reels stopped with a triumphant ding. 3 cherries appeared. And what? Why don't oranges ever make good comedians? And what? Juno asked, its voice light and playful. The girl giggled. And what? I don't know. Why? And what? And what? Because they always have to peel out of trouble. And what? Juno replied, sending the crowd into fits of laughter. It was a moment of pure joy. The girl laughed and hugged Juno's metallic leg, while the crowd applauded. Juno's reels spun again, and the robot performed more tricks, offering jokes, songs, and helpful advice based on the fruit combinations it landed on. But not everyone was amused by Juno's antics. In the shadows of the crowd, a group of businessmen in expensive suits watched with skeptical eyes. They whispered among themselves, exchanging uncertain looks. And what? That robot's just a gimmick. And what? One of them said. And what? It's nothing more than an outdated piece of technology. And what? But the others weren't so sure. One of them, a man named Gregory Harland, was intrigued. He had a reputation for buying up interesting inventions, and he saw potential in Juno. He approached Professor Vortex with a proposal. And what? Your robot is impressive. I'll give you that. And what? Gregory said, his tone smooth. And what? But I believe it could be worth far more than just a fun attraction. I'd like to invest in Juno. We could mass produce these robots and sell them to businesses. Use them for entertainment, or even as personal assistants. The possibilities are endless. What do you say? And what? Professor Vortex frowned, sensing something off about Gregory's offer. And what? I'm not interested in selling Juno. It's more than just a product. It's a creation, a work of art. And what? Gregory's smile faltered for a moment before he regained his composure. And what? Very well, then. And what? He said coldly. And what? But mark my words, Vortex, your robot will never be as big as you think. People will tire of it soon enough. And what? Gregory turned and walked away, his footsteps echoing through the park. Days passed, and Juno's popularity only grew. It appeared in newspapers, social media posts, and even late-night talk shows. People lined up just to see the robot perform, and Professor Vortex's workshop was flooded with requests from businesses wanting to rent Juno for special events. But no matter how much attention Juno received, the professor couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't quite right. He began to notice strange things happening around the city. The once vibrant arcades, which had been on the brink of closing down, were suddenly being bought out and renovated. Fruit machines were being replaced with sleek, modern gaming consoles. The air of nostalgia was quickly fading. And then, one day, Professor Vortex discovered that Gregory Harland had begun to patent his own version of a fruit machine robot, one that was faster, smarter, and had even more advanced features. The professor realized the truth. Gregory had stolen his idea. Furious but determined, Professor Vortex knew that the only way to fight back was to show the world the true heart of Juno. It wasn't about making money or competing with others. It was about the joy that Juno brought to people. And with that resolve, he set out to take Juno to the one place where no one could steal its magic, the people's hearts. With the help of his loyal friends and supporters, Professor Vortex organized an incredible event, Juno's Grand Adventure. It would be a spectacular journey across the city, where Juno would perform, interact with people, and show everyone the true meaning of joy. From the lively streets to the quiet suburbs, Juno would visit schools, parks, hospitals, and even the old arcades that had long since closed. Each time the reels landed on a new combination, Juno would create a unique experience, whether it was telling a joke, playing music, or offering an encouraging word. The event was a roaring success. As Juno traveled through the city, the crowds grew larger and more enthusiastic. People from all walks of life came together to witness the robot's magic. It was a celebration of community, creativity, and fun. And in the end, Juno didn't just win hearts, it changed the world. Gregory Harland's version of the robot? It was a hollow imitation, lacking the warmth and charm that Juno had brought to the city. In the end, it wasn't the technology that mattered, it was the soul of the invention, the heart that had been poured into it. And Juno, made from fruit machines and powered by joy, had a heart unlike any other.